Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 100 of the hunt today. We have made it to triple digits with only minor damage to my sanity. Wahoo. And today I wanted to let that intro cutscene play out because I don't think I ever fought the event version of Xenojiva, so I never saw that intro, and man, that makes a good first impression. I talked about this a lot in Frontier, where the monsters, like, vogue and pose and, like, do, like, a big intimidating thing before the fight actually starts, and I love that shit. I am all about it, and I want Capcom to give us more of that. Give me monsters flexing on us before we absolutely demolish them. Today we're fighting Xenojiva, who is the final boss of Monster Hunter World, the base game, so the high-rank final boss. And I know there's a master rank version of it. I couldn't find the event quest this morning, so I don't know if I just if it's on rotation or something, or I just missed it because I'm dumb. So I fought the high rank version, and I also kind of wanted to fight the high rank version because it was like the version of the fight that everyone did, that everyone knew. So it's like, this is the kind of definitive version. This is what people see the most rather than the hardest. This is a little bit of a shorter hunt, but I really like Xenojiva in theory. There's a lot about its fight that I enjoy. The big thing is I love the escalation. When you first start, the first phase of the hunt, when you're in the first area, Xenojiva has just woken up. It has just hatched. Xenojiva is a baby, and you really see it get more comfortable in, like, it's kind of like, have you ever seen a baby giraffe when it is born? It, like, stumbles around for like a couple minutes and like slowly gets its legs underneath it, and then it's like sprinting across the savannah in an instant. And that is a survival mechanism because, you know, predators, lions, and such. I don't know what else. They're not sea creatures, so I didn't study them extensively when I was a child. But Xenojiva is kind of the same thing. Throughout the fight, you see it slowly get used to its abilities and develop new ways to attack you, and it gets faster and more powerful and more threatening as the fight progresses, and I really like that. There's monsters in Frontier that did a very similar thing, and Sharalda kind of does the same thing at the end of Iceborne, who I'm probably going to fight for tomorrow's video. Haven't decided. But both of the end bosses in Monster Hunter World do that, and I really like that escalation. I think that's a good way to both, like, ramp up the hunter, to be, like, you know, build up your confidence in that first phase of absolutely demolishing this baby before, you know, it starts to get more and more aggressive. I remember when World first came out and I was fighting Xenojiva for the first time, I very much fell into that trap of like, oh, this thing can't do anything. And then in the second phase, I got a couple carts because I got cocky and I let myself make dumb mistakes. Now, even with those dumb mistakes, I still beat Xenojiva the first time I fought it, which I can't say I did for any other end boss monster in Monster Hunter. And that kind of stinks. I think even though, like, the escalation is really cool and you do get to see Xenojiva become more powerful, it's still too easy. You can trivialize the entire fight by constantly attacking its hands, and you see that in this video, even though it's a little bit different because I'm using much outclassed equipment for the monster that I'm hunting. So I'm, like, staggering it every, like, 10 seconds in this video. But even with, like, regular high-rank equipment, you could still stagger it very easy and very consistently, which just made the fight kind of a cakewalk. And I think that would all be forgivable if the monster had cool gear and equipment, and I might actually put, like, some renders or, like, some screenshots of the armor, because the armor is dope. The armor looks really cool, but then the weapons have the Monster Hunter World slap-on nightmare bullshit on them, and it makes no sense to me. Why give your final boss monster non-unique weapon designs? I can't, like, that. I can forgive a lot of the slap-on stuff for, you know, this was the first time they were developing a game for, like, a modern console. There were probably reasons why they had to do it, but to not give your final boss unique weapon designs, I cannot defend that decision in any capacity. And if Xenojiva ever comes back, I really hope they fix that. I really hope we see some, like, actual unique designs on this, because aesthetically, this monster rips. I really like Xenojiva aesthetically. It is this gross, like, embryo dragon with, like, translucent skin. And something I noticed when I was hunting it this morning that I never, like, really appreciated, the reason its hands are weak points, but its legs are not, is, like, the scales and, like, the draconic armor that, like, covers its adult form, Xenojiva, are fully formed on its legs, but they have not fully formed on its hands, so it's still that, like, translucent, see-through, like, fleshy, gross skin underneath, which is why they're more of a weak point than the legs are. And that attention to detail is really, really cool. The glow inside of its chest, this just, like, core of power that you see, like, beating through the monster's skin, it's really neat. And the gross alien, like, orange false eyes, I have no idea why they're there. They disappear in the adult form of the monster, and I could not tell you why, but it looks so cool. It is such an intimidating visage. It is such a cool design. Wasted on a unfortunately easy fight with awful weapon designs. There's so much I want to like about Xenojiva, and there's a lot I do like about Xenojiva. I just wish, if it comes back, we get some changes. Maybe it ramps up to its final state a little bit faster and then goes above and beyond that. Maybe it has good weapon designs in a future game. The issue is, in Monster Hunter, it is very rare that a final boss monster will come back. The only one that I can think of is Fatalis. Is the only, I think, final boss monster that has returned. Every other game's final boss, and Lunastra, I guess, because Lunastra was the final boss of Freedom Unite. Every other game's final boss monster, like the last hunt you can do, has been relegated to that game. And I like that decision. I think it's a good decision to get people to go back and play the games, if those games were readily available. Right now, the only final boss monsters we have access to are the ones that are on Generations Ultimate, which is none of them. None of them. So the only final boss monsters we have access to are the two original ones in Generations, the ones in Monster Hunter World and the ones in Monster Hunter Rise. Unless we see remasters or, like, ports of the older games, we're not going to see those again. Which sucks. I've talked about that a little bit before, how much I think, like, we need to see these monsters again. And that's a rant for another day. This is too short of a video for that. In terms of returning in Wilds, I don't think we're going to see it. I'm going to say 0 out of 10 because it's a final boss monster, because it is tied to Xenojiva, who I will definitely talk about later. We're not going to see it again. And it has a very low chance of coming back in a future game. I'm going to say like a 1 out of 10 to ever see the Jivas again outside of World. This was a weird video. I went like a lot of like ups and downs, positive and negative, on the ramble today, but that is where I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the hunt if you can. I always appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.